For the second time this week, Windsor has played host to a royal visitor. Although he has not received the publicity of his royal cousin, Queen Elizabeth, Crown Prince Alexander of Yugoslavia is spending the weekend in Windsor. The Crown Prince is here to help local Serbian national and cultural organizations mark the 50th anniversary of the death of his grandfather, King Alexander. Paul Patterson has the story.
The death of King Alexander in 1934 is a day every Serbian remembers. On October 9th in Marseille, France, a Croatian assassin jumped on the running board of his car and shot him. It marked the beginning of the end for a free Yugoslavia. Today, a living reminder of a free Yugoslavia helped local Serbians to remember. He is Crown Prince Alexander, grandson of the assassinated king. He is currently living in England and refuses to be crowned king in exile.
Quite rightly, king of what? There's no point in being crowned in exile because one has to be in the country of origin, and certainly we don't have a parliament to ratify it. So I prefer being known as Crown Prince Alexander. Until the day comes we have a democracy, and should the monarchy be the solution, I'm available.
Do you think that day will come?
Who knows? Times change. All we've got to look at is Spain, where the monarchy has been successful uniting the country. I don't see why we can't do the same in Yugoslavia.
Tomorrow, the Crown Prince will lead a special commemorative service for his grandfather at the Cleary Auditorium. Paul Patterson, CBC News, Windsor.
And speaking of royal visits, tomorrow morning at 5 to 9, we'll be carrying some edited highlights of the Queen's visit to Windsor. Windsor's Serbian community turned out today to mourn the death of a king who died 50 years ago. The memorial service was led by the grandson of the assassinated king, Crown Prince Alexander of Yugoslavia. Paul Patterson has the story.
Some in the audience of more than 200 at the Cleary Auditorium today were old enough to remember King Alexander and how he tried to create a united Yugoslavia. They also remember October 9th, 1934, when a Croatian terrorist climbed onto the running board of the king's car in Marseille, France. The assassin fired into the car, killing the king and effectively killing the chances for a free Yugoslavia. Today, the king's grandson, Crown Prince Alexander, mourned his murder.
I need not remind you of the motives of those responsible for that foul deed, or the domestic and international forces behind them. By attacking the person of the king, the enemies of peace and all our peoples were hoping to destroy the very idea of Yugoslavia.
It is difficult to say how life would be different for the Crown Prince today if his grandfather had not been killed. But the prince says it is certain life would have been different for Yugoslavians.
The fate of Yugoslavia, under the strong moral, political leadership of King Alexander, almost certainly would not have been the enslavement, dismemberment, and fratricide by which all of us have been variously scarred.
The prince has refused to wear the crown of a king in exile, but hopes that one day the communists will be chased from his country and he can return to the throne. Paul Patterson, CBC News, Windsor.